Welcome back to another episode of the. Oh, God dog it. Hold on. So, welcome back to another episode of the Enaroux Radio Show. My name is Bobby James, and I'm here to bring you another topic that I feel is very, very important for me to elaborate on or to talk about for the Enaroux Supply Company brand. Just to make it very clear to you guys. And the thing is that for my personal journey, I actually saw on Instagram just the other day that there was an artist or someone who's been able to influence the streetwear culture for a very long time. An individual named Benny Gold is actually stepping away from his clothing brand. He's actually stepping away from the things that he's been able to produce and create. And the reason being is because he's felt as though the brand in which he created has, kind of drifted away from its initial purpose. And the thing is that I want to make it very clear today and now what the purpose is of Enaroux Supply Company. And that is to make my own clothes. Yeah, you have to make your mission very simple. And that's what today's episode is all about. I feel that most of us make a mess of our lives. We muck up a lot of things that we're trying to accomplish only because we don't understand what it is that we're doing it for. When I think about it, when I think about the shirt that I'm wearing, when it says simply put, just rise and lead, when it has this duck, when I think about the symbology that I put on my clothing, when I think about it, it empowers me as I go out into the world. It empowers me when I speak to somebody and they ask me, what is that? And I get a chance to explain what it means that consistent effort will get you whatever it is that you want. No matter what it is, if you continue to work at it, it could be the girl that you like, the guy that you like, the job that you want, the promotion that you feel like you deserve. You can easily get whatever it is that you want if you strive for it, if you literally put one duck in front of the other and just continue to push in that direction. But let's not get all lost in the sauce about the ducks again. Let's just talk about what my initial mission was. I really had an issue in high school when it came down to seeing individuals who had name brand clothing. I will admit that I was somewhat jealous, and I did have a bit of a, I had a bit of an issue adjusting only because I hadn't really cared about clothes prior to high school. But when I had the opportunity to see people just stun on you or be able to come in with the nice Jordans or come in with the fresh jeans or the crease, everybody had their khakis, but it was just like, I never had any piece of clothing that spoke to the mission I felt that I wanted to do, the mission that I felt that I was on. So when we're talking about just do it, I'm just like, that doesn't seem to be directed at a specific goal. So therefore, I wasn't really a big Nike person. I did fall in love with Converse, though. I fell in love with Converse only because no one was conversing about it, which is the very ironic thing about it. It was the outcast shoe. It was the outcast shoe. It was still affordable. It was still clean. I could easily make a nice outfit with a pair of Chucks, but it was something that I felt spoke to who I was. Very simplistic, very like the canvas, the simplicity of the canvas itself made me feel a certain way. It made me imagine if I were a shoe, what would I look like? And I personally feel that it would easily be a Chuck Taylor. But when it came to the t-shirts, when it came to the hats, when it came to the wristbands, when it came to me knowing people who actually got name brand clothing companies tattooed on their skin, when I think about that, I'm just like, what are they missing to grab me as a potential customer? What did they miss? And I'm just like, maybe they're not speaking to something that I feel very, very passionate about. Maybe they're not speaking to the fact of just doing it isn't enough. You have to be able to plan out the steps. You have to be able to understand that there are steps. You have to literally hone every skill that you have and what do they call it? And itemizing it, or being able to just group it together and say, okay, so how can we get to the end result with this skill set? That whole conversation is something that honestly isn't even popular amongst my friends, but that still does not change the mission that I'm on. And the way that I see it is that no one will be able to even start this conversation until they see a piece of clothing, until they hear an entrepreneur or an aspiring spokesperson or whatever the case may be speaking on the importance of consistency, speaking on the importance of how consistency is shown to you in nature. Just with the duck symbology, even when you see them flying through the sky, literally everything is done when you plan it out properly. When you have it planned out properly and you're executing the goal, then it becomes your job to rise and lead because you understood the steps that it took to get to where you are, even if it's not complete. You understand that getting to the place where you are took a lot of hard work and consistent effort. And that's the kind of message that we need to be able to pass on to other entrepreneurs, whether they're younger than us or just perhaps even less experienced or more. Perhaps they need to be reminded. But the thing is that I wanted to be the reminder. I wanted to be able to be the reminder without opening my mouth. I wanted to be the reminder just from you being able to look at my logo, my videos, my podcast, whatever the case may be. And I personally have never felt any kind of obligation to make a certain amount of money. I've always felt that this clothing was for me and for those like me. I don't know where they are, but I do know that they exist. And as long as I continue to feed that energy, I understand that they will run across me at some point or another. And that's why it keeps me consistent. That's what keeps me in a row. And I just want to let you guys know that whatever mission it is that you're on, I want you to really just take an inventory of the skill sets that you have. Write them down. I don't care. If you want to post them, you can do that too. But write them down and literally just hold yourself, I want to say accountable, but I don't really feel like that's the right word. But when you really just hold yourself to the honest truth of what that skill set is, you'll be able to say, okay, if I can draw, if I know that I watch a lot of movies, if I know I enjoy spending time with my friends, perhaps a podcast is an option. Perhaps a YouTube video is an option. Perhaps just there will be a list of things that emerge as you continue to just look through your list and you become more and more honest with yourself. It can be something as simple as you enjoy smoking weed. Let's just keep it real. You can easily make a career out of that. I've seen it. You could easily go on the internet right now and find it. And that's the thing that has stopped a lot of people, is that they don't want to see that someone else is doing something similar to them. But the truth of the matter is, you're the individual. You are the person who will be able to set your brand aside from everybody else. You'll be the one that stands out. You will not fall into the muck of everything else everyone else is doing, is because you are an individual. And only because you can be as selfless as possible, only when you can be as selfless as possible, can you actually execute on this plan. But I feel that as soon as you realize what it is that you want, go for it. Because ain't nothing stopping me from wearing these shirts. Ain't nothing stopping me from making these videos. And I don't feel that there should be anything stopping you from following your dreams. So, it's Bobby James signing off again. Keep your ducks in a row, guys.